The email hit my inbox like a slap. Cease all non-essential power usage immediately. Karen HOA, the HOA president, had singled me out again. Her signature sneer practically bled through the screen. I'd installed solar panels on my villa's roof to cut costs and live greener, but Karen called them an eyesore and banned me from using them. Never mind that my setup was approved by the city or that our coastal community of 80 villas was drowning in skyrocketing utility bills. Karen's word was law, so she thought. That night, I heard a crash outside. My security camera caught her, in her gaudy gold sequin blazer, tampering with my solar hookup. By morning, my power was dead. I wasn't the only one fed up. Karen's reign over Ocean Crest Villas was a masterclass in petty tyranny. She'd fine people for unapproved mailbox colors, dictate hedge heights to the inch, and once threatened to tow a neighbor's car for parking too close to her driveway. But this, cutting my power, was personal. I'd spent months researching sustainable energy, pouring my savings into those panels to do my part for the planet. Karen didn't care. To her, my eco-friendly choice was a rebellion against her control. I confronted her at the next HOA meeting, my voice shaking with anger. "You can't just disconnect my system," I said, holding up the grainy footage of her sneaking around my yard. The room went silent. Karen smirked, leaning back in her chair. "Prove it's me," she said, her manicured nails tapping the table. "And good luck running those panels without my approval." The truth unraveled faster than Karen expected. My neighbor, Mr. Patel, a retired electrician, had seen her too. He'd been walking his dog when he spotted Karen near the community's main electrical hub, not just my house. She had bolt cutters, he whispered to me later, his eyes wide. I thought she was just being her usual nosy self, but his voice trailed off. I pulled up the hub security feed with the help of Tim, a tech-savvy teenager from 2 villas down, who hacked into the outdated system in minutes. The footage was damning. Karen, in her signature stilettos, slicing through cables like she was starring in her own revenge flick. She didn't just cut my power, sabotaged the entire grid. By dawn, 80 villas were dark. Fridges hummed to a stop. AC units wheezed out. The community WhatsApp group exploded with complaints. Karen, oblivious, posted a memo blaming unregulated solar setups for the outage. My blood boiled. The twist came when Tim's mom, Mrs. Nguyen, stepped in. She was a quiet widow who rarely spoke at meetings, always nodding along to Karen's decrees. But that morning, she marched into the community center with a folder thick as a brick. "I'm a lawyer," she announced, her soft voice cutting through the chaos. "And I've been documenting Karen's violations for years." The room froze. Mrs. Nguyen laid out photos, emails, and finds evidence of Karen's abuse of power, from extorting residents for special assessments to funneling HOA funds into her personal landscaping. The power outage was just the latest in her string of crimes. "She's been bullying us for too long," Mrs. Nguyen said, her eyes locking onto Karen's. "This ends now." Whispers rippled through the crowd. Karen's face drained of color, her usual arrogance replaced by a flicker of panic. The confrontation erupted at the emergency HOA meeting that night. Residents packed the clubhouse, their flashlights casting eerie shadows on the walls. Karen stood at the podium, her voice shrill as she doubled down. "This is a conspiracy," she screamed, pointing at me. "He's the one who overloaded the grid with his illegal panels." I stepped forward, my laptop open to the security footage. The crowd gasped as Karen's image flickered on the projector, bolt cutters in hand, sparks flying as she hacked at the cables. "You did this," I said, my voice steady now. "You cut power to 80 homes because you couldn't stand losing control." The room erupted in shouts. Mr. Patel stood up, recounting his eyewitness story. Mrs. Nguyen followed, presenting her dossier to the board. Karen's allies on the board squirmed, their loyalty crumbling under the weight of the evidence. Then Tim, barely 16, raised his hand. "I traced the HOA's bank records," he said shyly. "Karen's been skimming funds to pay for her vacation home." The crowd roared. Karen's smug facade shattered, her hands trembling as she gripped the podium. Karen's downfall was swift and brutal. The board voted unanimously to remove her as president, effective immediately. The police arrived the next morning, summoned by Mrs. Nguyen's formal complaint. Karen's sabotage wasn't just an HOA violation, it was vandalism, a felony. As officers led her out of her villa, her designer heels clicking on the pavement, she screamed about lawsuits and ungrateful peasants. The community didn't flinch. We were done with her reign. I filed a federal claim against the HOA for obstructing my right to use renewable energy, citing the Energy Policy Act. The claim wasn't just about might, it was for everyone Karen had bullied into compliance. Within weeks, the utility company restored power, and my panels were back online, now powering not just my home but a small community microgrid. Mrs. Nguyen helped draft a new HOA charter, one that prioritized fairness over control. Karen's panic peaked when the federal claim hit the news. Reporters swarmed Ocean Crest, their cameras catching her tearful rants about being framed. Social media lit up, with Karen Hoa trending as residents shared their own stories of her tyranny. She tried to countersue, claiming defamation, but her case collapsed when Tim's bank records surfaced in court. The judge didn't just dismiss her sway, they ordered her to pay restitution for the damages. Her vacation home was sold to cover the costs. Last I heard, she'd moved to a condo downtown, stripped of her power and her pride. The villas, meanwhile, thrived. We elected Mr. Patel as the new HOA president, and he greenlit solar panels for anyone who wanted them. The community felt alive again, united by a shared victory over a tyrant. Looking back, Karen's sabotage wasn't just about my panels, it was about fear. Fear of change, of losing control, of others living differently. Her actions left 80 families in the dark, but they also sparked a rebellion that lit us up. We learned that standing up, even against someone as loud and vicious as Karen, can shift the tide. Mrs. Nguyen taught us to document. Tim taught us to dig. And I learned that one person's fight can become everyone's. What do you think, was Karen's punishment fair, or did she deserve a second chance? Share your thoughts. Justice isn't just about consequences, it's about what we build after.